Welcome to today's episode of Retail Initiative. Super excited that you're here. We're gonna just get into this one. So we'll do the theme song thing, whatever that is. If you're on YouTube, we're not doing that. So I'm just gonna start talking, and you're gonna have to pretend that you saw an awesome theme song. But for those of you that are joining the podcast, we're gonna do the theme song, and then we're going to get right into it. All right. So this has been a really, really, really interesting season for me. It's been, look, so I'm like an idea guy. I'm the kind of person, like, I'm always coming up with something, like something I want to do, a change I want to make in the company, a product I want to create, um, a marketing thing I want to do, a tool I want to use, whatever that is. I don't know if that's you. Um, I want to redo our website like once a month. It's ridiculous. And honestly, that's really hard for my team to follow. I like the other day, I had a conversation with my web guy who he manages our e-commerce projects and all of that. Really incredible. And we were having a conversation about some of the things that we're doing in 2020 that I can't wait to share with you. They're incredible. And I changed something, and he was like, Josh, I don't think you know how frustrating it is to work really hard and then have the goalpost moved and that be a regular thing. And it hit me like how hard that is to do. But where that really hit home was listening to, I'm reading a couple books right now. One is called Remote. It's written by the guys that made the software Basecamp. And I'm listening to a book called Stillness is the Key by Ryan Holiday. He wrote a really popular book called Trust Me, I'm Lying. He's a big marketing guy. Incredible books, and they really are working well together. And something in Remote that really hit home was this picture. And so the book Remote is all about encouraging teams to not have an office and instead like work from anywhere, which is something I'm super interested in and something I'm trying to move towards. And they're addressing the reasons why people don't want to do that. And one of them is like, well, how are you going to get all these amazing ideas if you're not able to meet in person? Like, there's so much value to meeting in person. Anyone that knows me knows like I could do that all day long. Like, I was born for meetings. It's disgusting because meetings are like the death of most people. But I am a strong extrovert, and so I kind of thrive in that. And in this picture, they had like 4 or 5 people sitting around a table, and someone's holding up a piece of paper and has like an exclamation mark on it, and there's like a light bulb above their head, and it's obviously showing like, hey, we have this great idea. And there's a box on the ground right next to them with a year written on it, and like showing that they're about to put the paper in the box. And then on the wall behind them is all these boxes with years written on it and cobwebs growing on the boxes. And that's something that I'm realizing like I'm super, super guilty of. And I'm sharing all this because it's been on my mind lately, but I think that you might be able to relate to this. Is if you're an entrepreneur, you probably have some of these traits too, where you are constantly coming up with new ideas and throwing them at your team or trying to implement them yourselves. But the problem with that is sometimes you don't need a new idea. You need to finish the ideas you already have. You haven't actually given your really good ideas, the things that you decided, okay, this is worth moving forward on, enough time to really like come to fruition. And so starting in 2020, one of the things my company is doing, like, we're cutting our offerings in half. We're getting rid of a ton of services, a ton of the things that we offer, because we're going to focus on the core things that we love doing and that can provide a ton of value to our clients. For you as a retailer, like, what is that? As you've had ideas, like, it's easy to look at all these things that other people are doing, their Facebook ads, their comment selling, their website, their brick and mortar store, their events, their pop-ups, you name it, whatever it is that they're doing. And you think that you have to keep up. You think that you have to be doing all the things that they're doing. Or maybe you've come up with your own thing, but maybe your brick and mortar isn't where it needs to be. Maybe your website, you built it, you launched it, but it's not converting. You haven't brought traffic to it. You don't even know if it could be successful yet because you launched something and then you moved on to the next thing instead of launching it and making it perfect. And so for you, like, what is that idea that if you were to say, you know what, like, no, nothing new. We're not going to do anything new until we make the things that we have incredible. So if it's your website, maybe instead of moving on to an app or comment selling or whatever, you're going to say, you know what? No, we're going to double down and we're going to figure out, like, how do we drive traffic to our site? How do we increase conversion? How do we make people buy once they're there? And how do we get people coming back? And if it doesn't do one of those three things, we're not going to focus on it. We're going to focus on our core product, our core offering. And then once that's done and once that's firing on all cylinders, then we can move on to the next thing. Because you'd think, like, that the most successful entrepreneurs out there are constantly coming up with new stuff. But what I'm finding is the most successful entrepreneurs I know are incredibly focused. You know, the retailers I work with that are doing 3, 4, 5, 6 million a year. When I bring up business books and I'm like, "Hey, did you read this?" They're like, "No, I didn't. I didn't read that," because they read something at one point and they began to work at implementing what they learned before they started learning all these new things. So for you, like, what could that look like to say, you know what, I'm not going to listen to another podcast, which I love that you're listening to mine, but um, if mine's not inspiring you to make what you have better and to make your existing ideas better, maybe you need to pause for a little bit, take a break from podcasts, take a break from books, take a break from Twitter or Instagram or whatever it is that's distracting you from your core thing. So especially as we head into the holiday season, don't think that your sales are going to come from something new. It's likely that your sales are going to come from what you already have. We need to double down and focus on that. And if what you have isn't working, you then have a big decision to make of, all right, do we shut that down or do we double down and do we make it better and improve it? But I don't think that you're going to be able to focus on 10 things at one time and see success in that area. So this is a really short one, but this has, like, been the biggest thing on my mind for like a month now is, as an entrepreneur, how do I stop doing the thing after thing after thing, and instead, how do I focus on what I need to focus on and not the next idea, but focus on the idea I already have. So in 2020, my commitment is, we have our core offering, we have our things that we're doing, and if I have a new idea, I'm going to write it down, and I'll come to it once the things we're doing are firing at all cylinders, and it's a smooth ship at that point. Then maybe we can tack something on. And I've already told my team that if I bring you a new idea, you can ask me, is that an add-on to our existing service, like something that adds more value there? Or is our service that we're offering not good and we need to scratch it and do something else? Because if it's not one of those two things, we're not doing it. It's not worth the focus. So as a retailer, I think that this is something that I know that a lot of you can relate to. And so I hope that going into the holidays that you can focus and not feel like you have to run a million miles per hour doing a million things. Instead, do the 5 things that you're doing and do them really, really well. So thank you for listening, or if you're on YouTube, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do. If this pushes you to be better at the things that you're already doing, then I would love that. If you're on YouTube, hit like, comment below. If you have questions, if you don't follow me on Instagram, I'm at RetailJosh. Just shoot me a DM. Let me know you're listening. I would love to connect. But thank you for listening, and we'll connect next time. So see you next week.